A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 24, verses 47 to 51. Truly, I tell you, he will put that one in charge of all his possessions. But if that wicked slave says to himself, "My master is delayed," and he begins to beat his fellow slaves and eats and drinks with drunkards, the master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, at an hour that he does know. He will cut him in pieces and put him with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, today I would like to invite you to think of a virtue of loyalty, which is the most important part of our Christian life. This parable is about a slave who has been put in charge of the entire household. This includes the responsibility to give other slaves their allowance of food at the proper time. Jesus says, "Blessed is that slave whom his master will find at work when he arrives." The slave will be promoted to additional responsibility. On the other hand, in a modern work context, the slave would be appointed to a manager with a duty to the owners while managing other workers. The owner's interests are met only when the workers' needs are met. The manager has responsibilities to both those above and below him in authority. Jesus says that it is the servant lead's duty to look to the needs of those under him as well as those above him. He cannot excuse himself for mistreating those under his authority by claiming it is somehow for the benefit of his superiors. He depicts this reality dramatically in the punishment meted out to the worker who cares only for his interests. From there, we will deal with the loyalty, which is familiar to our life. Loyalty is a virtue that helps us to have a successful relationship with every human being. We can see some biblical characters who are deeply rooted in the action of loyalty, and this can be seen in both in the OT and the NT. The OT understanding of loyalty is that there is a connection between God and people. What can we see in the life? God is a God who is always loyal to his people even when they break relationship with him. At the same time, he is God of just who wants to correct his people when they do some mischief to him. God makes his covenant with some people who are very much close to God. They are like Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and people of Israel. Among these people, I would like to speak of two great personalities. One is Abraham, whom we call the father of faith, and another is Moses, who is the leader of the people of Israel. When we look at these people, one thing we can understand that they are always loyal to their God. Abraham is the person who believed in the providence of God, and even during the time of testing, he did not give up his loyalty to God because he knew that even if he sacrificed his son to God, surely God will give him the same son. And when we see the life of Moses, we will come to know that he is chosen by God to lead the people of Israel to the promised land. He is the one who became mediator between God and his people. Whenever the people of Israel sin against God, Moses will intercede to God to forgive the sins of the people. He is both father and mother for the people of Israel. When they do not follow the commandments of the Lord, he will scold them and correct them in their wrongdoing. And another thing is that when they ask their needs, he will ask the Lord to provide them with their basic things like food and water. So this is how he is loyal to God and his people. Now we see the New Testament understanding of the word loyalty is to show the love of God and the mercy of God through the action of Jesus Christ. He is always to do the will of his Father, and he asks others to do the will of his Father. It is not a matter of merely God always, but it is a matter of doing the right things according to the will of the Father. We can take the example of the fall of Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus for 30 silver coins. In his lifetime, he did not have a real love for Jesus because he had a greed for money, name and fame. Therefore, he did not become a true friend of Jesus. St. Paul speaks about the virtue of loyalty in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verses 13, saying, even if we are faithless to him, he will be faithful to us. Now let us think of our own present situation. We know when we read the newspaper, there is a plenty of cases with regard to family problem, political problem, social problem, etc. Why does it happen like this? Because there is no genuine love for others. Let me ask you one question. Is it good for us to be loyal to ourselves? Of course, unless and until we become loyal to ourselves and to God, cannot be loyal to others. It should come from within. Then we will be a successful person in our lives and we become model for others. Therefore, let us try to be loyal to ourselves and to God, so that we may be loyal to our fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you, one and all.